Hello, my name is Carmen and I want to introduce you to my BookTube channel. I am just a girl who loves reading books and I wanted to share all that passion with you. So today, I wanted to start my first BookTube video talking about the ACOTAR series, which I actually have the box set very heavily right here. This is the Nerdy Ink editions of the covers. They are the original box set covers. I have them sitting somewhere in a drawer because I liked the Nerdy Ink ones better and they were on sale, which I actually think they are still on sale right now. So if you are just now getting into fantasy, don't know why I had to pause there. If you're just getting into fantasy and like fae, I probably... Honestly, I don't know if I would start with this. I started with The Cruel Prince, and that really led my passion into being like, I love fairy fantasies. They are amazing and incredible. And just to like start, it's like amazing. I should also mention before I start that this is going to be a spoiler-free kind of rendition. Talking about the books. I just want to get newcomers who are like on the fence about reading ACOTAR, or they're just like really curious as to if they think it's fit for them. So not a lot of people like fantasy, but this is a romantasy, obviously, because it has romance and fantasy, and I just really think it is worth the read. The fourth book, it's technically 3.5, you know, because it's an in-between book. I kind of didn't really like that book. I felt like it was a little useless. I did like, it is not needed since it is like a half book. It's like an in-between kind of thing. But it is the last book in Feyre's perspective, which is kind of sad because we probably won't ever get Feyre's perspective again, considering we have ACOTAR 6 coming out. It is not a spoiler that A Court of Mist and Fury is not in Feyre's POV, but I'm not going to say whose it is because I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. But it is so sad for it to not be Feyre's POV anymore, but you live to move on. You live to move on, yes. A Court of Thorns and Roses. This series really, I want to say, let me be totally frank. I loved Holly Black's The Cruel Prince series. I'm actually reading The Stolen Heir right now. That book, that series is what got me into loving the like fairies romance kind of thing in that fantasy world. Like, you get so much creative freedom to building those worlds. So like to see that really was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I was really like, oh my gosh, this world building is amazing. I can actually follow it, because I know in some fantasy books it's kind of hard to follow the maps. So I could really follow this really easily. When you move to the first book, you meet the main character, Feyre, and it's just, she is such a powerful main character. And when you move on throughout the books, you just see her grow as a human being, and it is amazing and incredible. You see the characters around her either grow or deteriorate, and like, it's just, it's amazing. I don't know how to describe it other than it is amazing. This book series literally, for the better, changed my view on fantasy. I also recommend getting these covers. I do have the original, I think I said this, I have the original covers of these still stashed away in a drawer somewhere, but the Nerdy Ink covers are just so pretty, and I wish I could get them out and show you. If you want an in-depth video of the covers, I can do that. It's just really difficult to get these out, but like I said, if you want a video of that, I can get them out and show you. These were like literally only $10 for all of these. It was good. I got it on sale because like, look how gorgeous. And the box set ours obviously has that. It's a little bent on the back because she's suffering in my bookshelf, but the books are okay, so that's all that matters. I just think this series really is not a good starting point for people who are looking to enter a very in-depth fairy fantasy. I think you should start off with like a YA, but like I said, it's personal preference. I'm glad I started off with The Cruel Prince because it wasn't too intense, and then when you get in here, it's like, bam. It's obviously for adults because there is some spicy scenes in it. And at this point on Book Talk, who does not love a good spicy scene? So what can I say? These were just amazing. Of course, in the first book, you kind of don't get much spice, and you get spicier as you go, and this one is really, really, really spicy. Like, I was reading it, and like, I was reading it in class, actually, and it was crazy. I don't really know how to describe these books without spoiling everything, but I just want to say and start my first YouTube video talking about a book series that really made me think I want to get into YouTube, because I want to talk about books like this. I want to share my passions. I want to share everything. My favorite book series actually is The Mortal Instruments. My favorite author is Cassandra Clare. I have a whole shelf dedicated to all of her books, and I do collect her special editions. I do have a special edition of ACOTAR somewhere on my shelf. It is just the simple one you get at Barnes & Noble. I just really, really enjoy this series. It didn't feel tedious to get through. This book did. This book felt very tedious. But my only nitpick I have is, like, I feel like majority of the plot happens in the last 100 pages. I know it did in the first book, and it kind of did in the last book, and I felt like the last book, the ending just, it wasn't what I wanted. Like, the whole obstacle they had to overcome in that book was kind of just over in, like, it felt like 2 pages, and I just really didn't like that, and I felt like it could have expanded more on that. But obviously there's a 6th book coming, so I feel maybe they can expand more on the threats that they are still facing, and I can't really say maybe who it's going to be about, since, you know, A Court of Silver Flames is about a different character. Yeah, so I think that is going to be all for this video. I just wanted to begin my first BookTube video talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses, because I really do feel like this series is such a good series. This author was everything I could have hoped for. I was scared, of course. Of course, if you're starting the series and you're scared, I don't want to say you should be, but it's daunting because you hear so much hype around it. When you hear so much hype around a book, you just get scared it's gonna fall past your expectations. And I really don't think these books did that. I think they met my expectations, and they probably, not even probably, they did expand more on them. I really love the world building. I love the map. It's easy to follow. I fell in love with the characters. And I just fell in love with the romance and just everything about it. So I really do think I would recommend A Court of Thorns and Roses. In my next video, I think I'm going to talk about some summer reads, since summer is approaching and everyone loves summer because out of school and you get to have all the time in the world to read. So I'm going to talk about maybe every summer after, if I can read that. I'm actually picking from a TBR jar right now. If you want to see a video of me doing that and reading, I can do that as well. But I just read We Were Liars, and I feel like that is a very summery book. And I feel like the Holly Black book I mentioned earlier was very summery. I feel like it was set in summer. So if you want to see more of me talking about books, please like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you next time.